A term in algebra can be a constant, a variable, or a product or quotient of a number and variables. Each of these is called a term, okay? So each of those is a term, and then if there's, we're going to get into multiple terms in a little bit, where we can do 2 plus 5x. These are each terms, and we're adding them together. We can add them, we can subtract them, but when we multiply them, like 5xy, that is still just one term, okay? So when we multiply them, they continue to be a term, but if we put an add or a subtract in them, then it changes, and now that's two terms, okay? And if I put a negative in front, that changes its value. So if I x and negative x, this one, whatever this one is, it's the opposite of it. So if x is 5, this one is negative 5. It also goes like this. If x is negative 4, negative x becomes negative 4, which becomes positive 4. Okay? So you need to realize that this doesn't mean, right in here, this negative x does not mean that x is negative. It means it's the opposite of whatever x is.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you or not?
Let's go right.
Okay, one more time. This right here is a 5, okay? If x was 5, then negative x is the opposite of that, so it's negative 5. Okay?
Right.
If x was negative 4, then negative x is the opposite of that.
So it'd be positive.
So it'd be positive 4. Okay?
Okay, so it just means the opposite.
That means
of
the
it.
opposite of. That's right. That's right. Okay? This says here, if terms have the exact same variables, the order of the variables does not affect their being like terms. So let's talk about like terms first. Let's go back to wherever it's talking about like terms. An algebraic expression may contain more than one term. The term within an expression are separated by pluses and minuses. We just did that. Here we go. If the terms are alike, they can be combined. Like terms are terms which are identical variables or exponents. So if I had 5x and 4x, they have the same variables, so they're like terms. Okay? But if I had 5xy and 4xy, they both have x's, they both have y's, they're in different orders, they're still like terms. Okay? And now that I have that up there, you can see it better, and I don't have to squish it so much. Okay, so if I had the same, now if I had 5x and 5x squared, actually let's not do a 5, we'll do 3, just so it's different. These are not like terms, okay? I'm going to just do like terms, okay? They're not like terms because one has a square on it and one does not.
Right.
They have to have exact same variables and letters. All right. We can combine them only if they're alike. So for example, 3x plus 7x, okay? This means I have x plus x plus x. That's what it means. This means I have 7 of them. So if I have 3 of them and 7 of them, how many total do I have?
10.
10 of them. And so all we have to do is just add the coefficient in front. Okay?
Right.
So if I have 3x squared plus 7x squared plus 2y, which ones are like terms?
These two.
Yes, these two. And so we can combine those. And so we have a 3 and a 7. We combine those together to be 10.
x4.
Now, careful. That's really good.
No. You would add... No, never mind.
Did we make this x squared to be 10x squared over here? No, we didn't. Because this said I had 3x's and 7x's for a total of 10x's.
Yeah.
This says I have 3x squareds and 7x squareds for a total of 10x squareds. All right, and since this one doesn't have a like term, then we just bring it down.
Plus 1,
Okay.
2y. Okay, so you don't add the exponents on top.
That's correct. Because when we add the exponents on top when we're multiplying the two things together. When we're adding, we're just combining how many x squareds in our total.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, let's do...
So you need to shut the door when someone else...
All right, so we have an 8r minus 5s minus 7r minus 6 plus 2s. And so for me, it's easier if I underline my like terms. So I have an r and an r. Now I can't just now be real careful. be real careful. Just like I made this, the S's, I hardly ever use S's. The book just did, but be very careful that you make that look like an S and not a 2, because that looks like a 25 to me.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Okay, so let's try again. I'm going to make that bigger, and I'm going to actually really exaggerate that S. Okay, so it really looks like an S. Same with this one right over here. Just be real cautious whenever you're using S's. They look like 2s if you're not really careful. Just really exaggerate them to make them really look curvy. Okay, so then I can't, since I single underlined the R's, I have to do something different. So I can double underline and show that they go together. Okay, sometimes even if you want to be like fancy, you just like, you know, do the same kind of thing around them. Heart around them or something. Something that's different, okay? Because triple underline, eventually you might get a whole bunch of, and it gets confusing. And so we just, the 8R and the 7R become, and that's a negative 7R. So 8 minus 7 is?
1.
Yes, and 1R. You don't really have to write the 1. You could, but you don't have to. Okay. Now I have these two, and I have a negative 5S and a positive 2S.
So you would subtract them, so
Yes.
it would be 3S.
Positive or negative?
Negative.
Yes, so minus 3S. Very exaggerate that S, so it doesn't look like a 32. And then, I don't have any like term with that one, so we're going to just make negative 6. Okay, now...
Wait, oh yeah, because you don't have to write the 1s.
Right. Now, this could have been in a different order. If I would have decided to do my S's first, I can have negative 3S. As long as the minus sticks with that 3 in the front, I can put it in front. Okay? Then I would have had an R, and it would have been a positive, so it would have been plus R. And then I just brought down my 6. So these are going to be the same, so you need to be cautious when you're checking your homework with the answer book, that your order might not be the same as theirs, but it could be still right. Sometimes textbooks, when they're doing their answers, they put their variables in alphabetical order, but it doesn't have to be in alphabetical order to be mathematically correct. So just notice that these are both correct. Okay.
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 Let's do some with exponents. I'll do one of your homework ones.
Oh, that's good.
9.
Yeah, that helps, because if at first I'm not understanding it, and you have one of my homework ones, and I can go back to my notes, it helps when you do the homework ones.
Good. Minus 9y plus y squared. It's actually good to do one of these because this one doesn't have a number in front. And if it doesn't have a number in
it's not
front,
like term. Well, it is like
it is like term. But what do I add? 9 plus what?
You would add another to the. You would add it to the exponent, right?
Do you know a minute ago when we were back here?
No, because one doesn't have to be in front of it,
That's
so you
right.
would just add 1, so it would be
Yes.
19.
Be careful. 9 plus 1.
10.
10.
And then plus 9, though, right?
Oh, that's
but there's
a
no square.
Yes. So these are like terms, but that one's not. So I just bring it down as 9y. And it's a minus, so I bring the negative down. Okay?
Got it.
Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do this one of the long ones.
Oh, boy.
Negative 7m minus 4n plus 11m plus 9m minus n. Whew. Okay. How many m's do I have?
3. But one of them's negative and the other two not, but that's still
Yes.
okay. Because
Right.
it's just, and then the ends are...
And I even sometimes do squigglies, because the squigglies go together. Okay, so let's do the m's. I have negative 7, 11, and 9.
So you would subtract the 7 and 11, so that would be 4.
Uh-huh.
And then plus 9, so 4 plus 9 is 13.
Okay, so 13m. Okay, now your n's.
And so then it'd be, you would subtract, no, because that's negative, and that's negative, right?
Very good.
So then you can just add them.
Very good.
So it'd be 5, negative 5n.
Negative 5n. Brilliant. See how that long thing just like reduced down so simply
Yeah.
to that? And so, and again, you could have done your n's first. There's no reason that you had to do your m's first. So it would have been negative 5n, because it goes in front with it. And then that 13, how would we write it, the 13m?
Plus 13.
They're plus 13m. So both of these are correct. E, C, T. Okay, they're both correct. All right.
All right.
Think we're done?
Awesome.